Thank you. Thank you. Once again, Roland Bubba Grimes here, the Roland Grimes Not Just Sports Entertainment Show. You may notice that I'm now triplets. As you see up on stage here, we're getting ready to start our panel to have a discussion about role reversals and the feminization of the African American male, masculinization of the African American female. Black History Month 2014. We're going to ease into this and we're going to let these panelists intensify our conversation as we go. I'm off camera right now, so you can't see me, but believe me, I am here. And I would like to introduce to you, to your left, a gentleman affectionately known in these parts. He has a Blog Talk radio show, and he also has worked on numerous media projects over the years. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Jerome "The One" Tucker. And the beautiful young lady in the middle is currently a counselor therapist. Is that the correct way to put it? Psychotherapist?
A psychotherapist is good.
That's good. And actually, I was supposed to pull up her bio, and I lost my glasses, so I couldn't read them. So she's going to fill in some stuff for me. I know that currently she has been doing some work with an organization called Transformation Therapy. Is that correct?
Transformation Therapy Center, that is correct. I'm part owner of Transformation Psychotherapy Center, located in Clinton, Maryland.
Right near Southern Maryland Hospital.
Right on the grounds of Southern Maryland Hospital, which is now MedStar Southern Maryland.
Okay. So if your body hurts, go to the hospital. If your head hurts, go see, see Kelly.
We'll take care of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Ms. Kelly James. Right, and that funky looking brother to the right is actually my twin brother from another mother. He's hails from Southeast Washington, D.C., and spent all of his life working in the Washington, D.C. area. He currently is a performer, member, co-manager from time to time for Belladonna, all-female go-go band. Also played with Chuck Brown, Red Essence, Reds and the Boys, and a number of other groups, and currently on tour when called upon with the legendary group Trouble Funk. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Christopher Allen. And later on, we'll have Dr. Baruch come up, and he's going to come on stage, and he's going to add some commentary. I wanted him to have a chance to listen and to help direct some of the conversation as we go. The way we're going to do this, the housekeeping rules are going to be real simple. I'm going to start out, I'm going to basically ask each one a specific question, and then the other two can elaborate on it, and then as we go, I'll just throw some questions out there and some commentary, and then we'll get some from the audience. Good enough, folks?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to start to my far left because he's the one who's been spending most of my time around the Roland Grimes Not Just Sports Entertainment Show. Not only is he the one, he is the one, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jerome Tucker. Jerome, you are currently involved with some projects dealing with African American males in the Washington, D.C. area. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're hearing some recurring themes from some of the brothers. And one of them is, if I'm going to paraphrase it, is that they're feeling out of place. They're feeling displaced. They're feeling extracted. And in many cases, when they involve relationships with black women, they're feeling somewhat undersized, underdeveloped, and underappreciated. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I would say more underappreciated.
Okay.
I think the role of the African American male now, particularly at this time we're living in, has been, it's changed considerably. We're living in a time now, particularly in America, where the African American male is targeted. And it's a situation where if you watch the media, if you watch sports, the things that you see the African American male is going to that area because it's considered to be a level playing ground. You can go in, and no matter who you are, if you show you're a good ball player, then you're given credit for that. If you've shown that you're good in entertainment, you're given credit for that. But what happens when we walk off the field or off the stage and we come home, the images that we see perpetuate our homes. And it creates a scenario where women are put in a position of, when I say leadership, there's not a problem with a woman being who she is, being professional, being powerful, and men are having an issue with that concept of being liberating. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not comfortable with it myself.
Okay.
Because how can you be a couple, how can you be together and be liberated?
Right.
That's a contradiction.
That's an oxymoron.
Yes, and so the concepts that we're getting from society, when they come into our homes, it's separating us. And we have more battles in our homes between the male and the female. So men, particularly, we work with men who are reentry. Some come from the military, some come back from prison, and so they're coming back in and they're trying to take their rightful position. Men who may have been separated from their children, and they're trying to come back in and be fathers. And there's so many other things that society is telling us as far as what that role is. And we hear some things, men hear some things, and we know they aren't right, but we want to keep peace in the home. You know, we've all heard that saying, if mommy ain't happy, nobody's happy. Well, you know, a lot of the men have an issue with that.
Okay, I'll throw this out to you real quick. You made that statement. When you say hearing things that aren't right, elaborate on that a little bit.
Men and women are different.
No, we are.
So most of us are different. And the difference, the thing is, we don't really accept the differences that we have between men and women. And now because of money's coming into the picture, and because a lot of women make more money than men do, that changes the roles in the family. And why would that change the roles in a family? Because you have more money. So if that switches, now you're going to give up that role? If the man makes more money, now he's going to be in charge. And whoever makes more money, it changes the position in the family. But we should be together. We should be able to coordinate, come together, come to a resolution, and work as a team. And so many times, it's not a team concept. There's a lot of me, I want, this is who I am. We have to hold our identity. We have to know who we are. But then we have to come together like a Venn diagram, so to speak, share those things, but we have to keep our identity. And that's where we're losing it. We're characters more so, and copying in things that we see in the media.
Chris, I'm going to come to you. You work with an all-girl band now. And of course, over the years, you've been involved with various industries and groups where they've been mixed, both male and female. And you're dealing with some strong characters, some egos on both sides. Now, when you encounter women who are out front, the front and center, front stage, and sometimes when they come off the stage and their conversation is still as if they're on the stage and they're still directing things as if they're still on the stage, how uncomfortable does that make some of the guys that are around? Or is it really a non-issue because it is just part of what you guys do?
Kind of a mixture of both. Mainly a non-issue. The dynamic of all-female band is challenging not only because you have all females, but because you have at least 3 or 4 of them that are bona fide leaders. And they have to learn the art of compromising. And then as a manager of these women, I have to learn how to submit myself to a degree where I'm not coming at them with a pimp mentality. Let me say it like that.
Sure.
You know, because as men, we can be a little dominating and knowing that I'm working with women and start pointing fingers and giving direction and things like that. And definitely with this band, that's the wrong thing to do, but especially with a demographic with all women, you have to learn how to be a good referee. Is that a good word to use?
Sounds good to me.
And not because women can't get along, because Belladonna's been together for 5.5 years strong. Some of the members have changed. However, the core of the group is still intact. And they've had to work together to compromise with each other on and off stage. The diva doesn't come off stage most of the time with the girls. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist, but we don't get that on the side of the stage when they come off. Frustration more, performance-wise, due to maybe sound constraints, size of the stage, type of venue we're playing in or something like that, but rarely. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen anytime, but I can accept when it does happen because it's so far and in between.
Now, Kelly, professional licensure. So not only do you have formal training in terms of some of the dynamics of the human experience, but you also have your own personal experiences and observations as well. And I was very excited to have you on the panel for a number of reasons. And one is because I knew that based on some of the observations I've had around you, with you, and some of the conversations over time that I've overheard, I know that you're often quite real with the people that you're communicating with. So I'm going to ask this question a little differently than I may have asked the other ones. And it is very simply, when black males and black females come into your domain and you run into a guy who is struggling with his relationship with a black female, and he says to you, she's too bossy, she gets on my nerve, she doesn't want to listen, she doesn't want to follow, etc. From a both professional and from a personal standpoint, what kinds of things does that say to you as a practitioner, and what kinds of things do they conjure up in terms of your own personal experience and observation?
That's a good question, Roland. And it does happen a lot. One of the things that I find when couples are in my office for therapy touches on some of what was said over by my panel mate here. It's important that you know and be comfortable with what your own role is and your role within your family. So a lot of times when men are saying some of the things that they're saying, it's important for me to get some background as to, well, what kind of relationships did they see? What kind of examples have they had? And are they a traditional type thinking individual or kind of non-traditional? And in couple situations, one of the most important things is valuing the differences. Can we value our differences? Can we find out why a mate might feel the way that they do? And I will be honest, sometimes what I do discover with my male clients is they're very clear about what they think, but they often are not in touch with how they feel, how it makes them feel.
Okay.
And that's a road that we go down a lot.
Well, I know that growing up, we weren't taught to a lot about our feelings. Is that a safe way to put it?
That would be safe.
And when
In
you're
many
involved,
cases.
and when you're involved with athletics, especially from a young age, you really learn how to tune out your feelings. The African American male, Kelly, I'm coming right back to you again. The African American male, and this is coming from observation, also from some studies and also conversations of the black males. Many are feeling very, very frustrated with their relationships with black females on the job, at home, even walking down the street. And a lot of times, especially in the DC area, I hear the brothers saying, man, sisters here have attitude. Sisters here stuck up. Sisters here don't want a brother to talk to them, don't want a brother to speak to them. And when they do, they're looking, well, what do you drive? How much you make? Et cetera, et cetera. And I know this is not new to you in terms of how some of the brothers are feeling and some of what we're saying. But what is it that's going on now, from the best way that you could say, what is it that's going on now that's creating this kind of frustration in black males toward the black female that didn't quite exist in this way 30 or 40 years ago?
Another good question, Roland.
Right.
Don't quite know that I'm able to answer it in quite a clinical way, but I think when you ask that question, Roland, why is the man feeling frustrated that way? One of the things that I've heard as I matriculated to school is, so as the higher I go, the fewer black men there are around me.
Yes, I hear that all the
in
time.
classrooms, and in undergrad there's fewer. Then you go to grad school, there's fewer.
Right.
And again, I think it comes back to understanding the differences and kind of knowing who you are. Now, we do live in a powerful area, and women have great jobs and earning potential, and men do too. But as you said, there's a statistic that says that women do out-earn men in our area.
Black women.
Black women, exactly. And so, doesn't there have to be some understanding of each other's plight? There has to be some putting yourself in another person's shoes and trying to understand where they come from and not making a flash judgment, about things. And so I think for the brothers, it might be helpful for them to kind of look at how much of what they're feeling and internalizing has to do with their own feelings about their accomplishments and goals, or not reaching those goals, or feeling held back and oppressed from those goals.